Is it audible, ma'am? Any echo sound is there?
It's okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
It's okay. Yeah, good morning, students. So we are under the topic stack actually. So under the unit 2, we have only two concepts. One is stack and another one is queue. So till now we have seen the concepts of the stack, and we saw how the stack and what is the operations under the stack and what are the applications of this stack. Okay, so we have a quick recap of stack ADT. So we know stack has only two operation, like push operation and pop operation, and the application of the stack will be the conversions of our infix to prefix or infix to postfix. So we have seen only the infix to postfix expression conversion, and we have seen how to evaluate and how to do all those things. Fine. So that's all about the stack, and we are going to start the a fresh topic. We call it as a queue. Queues, we call this queue as a data structure. Okay, it just have some, like as well as same like your stack, it has some operations and applications also. Today we will see the QADT is nothing but you're going to see only the features and this operations. You're not going to get inside the implementation part. Okay, so you know what is that abstract data type means. Okay, fine, we'll get inside the topic. So here again, I'm going to have a pictorial representation to tell what is that queue means actually. Okay, so assume I'm going to have an empty hollow cylinder. Okay, so if it means if you're going to have a hollow cylinder, that means I'm having an open end at the both the ends. Okay, so at the top also it is open, and the bottom also it's open. That is called as an hollow cylinder. Fine. So again, I'm going to get all the watermelons which I taught you in the stack. Okay, assume we have some 3 watermelons are there. I'm numbering like watermelon 1, 2, and 3. So I'm trying to put this watermelon inside this hollow cylinder. Fine. So I'm trying to put the watermelon one by one. So what happens, my first watermelon will be inserted into the hollow cylinder. Next comes the second, and next comes the third. Okay, in queue also your value will be arranged one above the above. The watermelon will be arranged one above the above. Okay, so here what happens is, since I said it as a hollow cylinder, so automatically what happens, we have an open end at the bottom also. So your watermelon will be dropping out, will be coming out. Okay, so this is what your queue actually. Okay, so which watermelon I'm putting first will be coming outside first. Okay, so here what happens, if you want to remove my first watermelon, okay, what happens, my first will be coming out from the hollow cylinder. Fine. So this is what the concept of queue. So we can say we have some 2 operations in queue. Technically we see the definition and all later. Okay, so this is what your queue will be having 2 open ends. Okay, so the data we will be putting inside, the first data will be coming outside. Okay, so it's having a concept called as first in and first out. Fine. So but in stack what happens, we'll be having only one open end. Okay, we have which will be the last will be coming first. That is what the operations concept in the stack. Fine. So we will saw the operations what they're going to perform inside this queue. Fine. We have some technical words like NQ, DQ, and all in stack. We'll be using 2 main terms like push and pop. Okay, as well as queue also have a specified term called as NQ and DQ. NQ is nothing but if I want to insert an element into a queue, I'll call it as an NQ. Okay, so always my insertion occurs at the top. Okay, so at the top I'll be putting the datas. Okay, like at the top I'm putting the watermelon into the hollow cylinder. So that particular entry is called as an NQ. Fine. And my second operation is I need to remove the element from the queue. Okay, I'll call this operation term as a DQ. So always my DQ occurs at the bottom of my queue. it doesn't occur at top. So NQ will be occurring at the top and the DQ will be occurring at the bottom. So this is called as a term called DQ is nothing but to remove an element from the queue. And the third one is, here I have a pointers. In stack I'll be using a term called as top, but here I have two terms like front. Okay, I'll tell one more time, front and rear. Okay, so in front what happens is the front only tells you which gives you the front value of the queue. Okay, so here in this particular point, once again, yeah, so in this place what happens, the DQ is happening. Okay, so this front will return the front element of the queue, the first element of the queue, which is going to be deleted. That is what the front term will be returning. Okay, so here the rear will be giving the last element. Here my last element of my queue is going to be the third watermelon, so it's going to give return you the last element of my queue. Okay, so I'll be using two terms here, a front and the rear. Front will be nearer the DQ and rear will be near the NQ. Okay, so front tells you about the first element which is going to DQ, and rear tells you the last element in the queue. Fine. So these are these, we have so many operations, we can add so many operations, but the main operations of my queue will be the NQ and the DQ. Okay, fine. So now we have a scenario, like if you want to, in what order, if I'm going to make a DQ, in what order the element will be there. Okay, so here in this particular queue I'm going to have a deletion here. So you know, always my deletion happens at the front end. Okay, here my deletion happens. So if you want to remove the watermelons, they, what happens, they'll be in order, the same order, like 1, 2 and 3. So you can see in the same order the values has been deleted. Okay, in which order the values has been inserted, the same order the value will be deleted. Okay, so that is what happens here. Okay, and we call this as a first in first out. Okay, this means which watermelon comes first will be deleted first. Okay, so this is what the concept of queue. So queue is nothing but a normal scenario. You can relate this queue with so many applications, like standing for a ticket in the railway station. All this will be having this queue concept. Okay, we will see the application later. So we have two main operations. My main operations are the NQ and the DQ operation, and we have two special terms. We call it as front and the rear. Okay, so front will be tells you the first element which is going to be DQ'd, and rear tells you about the last element of the queue. Fine. So it's very easy to understand all this concept. Okay, it's very simple. Queue is very simple compared to your stack. Fine. Fine. So this is what the technical definition of what is a QADT. We can say it's a list or a collection with the restriction that insertion can be performed at the one end. That is what we call it as a rear end, and deletion can be performed at the other end. That is called as the front. Okay, so this is a technical definition of a QADT. Fine. So now it's a very a simple comparison between the stack and the queue. So you can see here I'm having a queue. So it just tells you about the people are standing in a queue for getting some ticket. Okay, so we have a concept first in first out. So under the stack it will be a reverse process. So last in first out. Okay, because we have only one opening, this is we have to push here, and from here we have to pop it. Okay, but here this will be my rear end, and this will be my front end. Okay, so front end and rear end. Okay, the person will be coming in and will be going out. Okay, so if we have two openings inside my queue. Right, so this is the main difference between the queue and the stack. Fine. So now we will try to perform this operation in by using some values. Okay, we will check whether how this NQ and DQ is going to process. Fine. So we have a main two operations like NQ and DQ. I'm adding extra more operations. Okay, these operations are our wish for our convenient programming convenient. I can add so many operations. Okay, in stack also we'll be using like top off is empty or not and all, but the main operation will be the push off and pop off. Here also the main operation will be the NQ, the element, and DQ. Fine. So you can see I'm representing my Q like this. Fine. So here will be the NQ and here will be the DQ part. So NQ is nothing but in this particular way I'm going to insert the value, and this particular way the value is going to be deleted. Okay, now this end will be having a rear end, and this end will be having a front end. Okay, so here we have a term like a constant time. Okay, so here it is about the complexity of your program, complexity of the operations, as well as in stack also we said we have an complexity of order of 1. Okay, it's a best complexity we say. So it takes a constant time to make, because only one element will be dequeued. Okay, we won't be dequeuing many elements. So at a particular time, only one element will be coming out from a queue. So we will be performing a constant time. Fine. So in stack as well as in a queue. So the both will be having an order of 1 as a time complexity. Fine. So here I'm making a little comparison technically how this stack and how this queue looks. You can see I'm having a stack, a push, and the pop will be having only one opening end, but here I'm having two opening ends. Fine. And now I'm going to perform some operations here. So the first operation I'm going to perform here is NQ of 2. Okay, so 2 will be the element which I'm going to insert inside the Q. So assume I'm having a representation for Q like alphabet Q itself. Okay, so I'm going to NQ the value 2. So now what happens, this is the way I have to insert the value. So the 2 will be inside my Q. So now I need to point the front end and the rear end. Okay, since I'm having only one element inside my Q, what happens, both will be pointing to the same element. So I'm pointing my rear end and the front end to the particular single value itself. Okay, so now let us try to NQ some more values. So now I'm going to NQ the value called as 5. Okay, so where it will be inserted only through this way. Okay, that is what the slide tells you. So only through this way I'm going to NQ the values. So now what happens, 5 comes here. Okay, so now this my 2 will be pointing the front and my rear end will be the 5. Okay, 2 is nothing but tells you the first element of my DQ. Okay, rear tells you about the last element of my NQ. So here my NQ will be there and here my DQ will be there. Fine. So let me try to NQ some more values. So now I'm trying to NQ the value 3. So I'm going to put a data element 3. So now again my rear will be changing. Okay, because I'm having my top my rear end element will be my last element will be 3. So rear has been pointing 3. Fine. And now I'm going to perform a DQ operation. So what this DQ will do, it's just going to return me the value which has been deleted. Okay, so that is the main work of this DQ. So since I'm performing a DQ off, so automatically the front value will be deleted. Okay, so now automatically my 2 has been deleted from the Q and the front is pointing to the 5. So this function gives me the return value. The return value will be the 2. Yeah, you can see here. So DQ is going to return me the deleted value. Fine. And also these are the two basic operations. This is very compulsory to perform an NQ and a DQ. So other operations about your wish. So here I'm going to handle 2 more operations for my convenient. That will be the front off and is empty off. Okay. So I will be writing this NQ DQ as a function when I'm going to implement inside my program. Okay. For understanding sake, I'm just using calling this function. Okay, so now I'm using front of. This front of gives me the first value, which is going to be dequeued. So the element which is going to be dequeued here will be the value 5. Okay, so y 5 has been returned. Okay, next, and as usual operation, I have to check is empty or not. So before putting an element, or when I'm going to take element, I have to make a check. For what this I'm using is empty offer. So my queue is not empty. I have some values inside my queue, so it's going to return me and value false. Right? So these are the basic things under your queue. Okay, so till now we have seen the operations, and we have worked with the NQ and DQ. So how this process goes on, how this insertion and deletion happens in a queue. So we saw in a pictorial way. Fine. So now we are going to see about the applications of queue. So where and all this queue can be used. So that is what you're going to see now. So with nothing but a good example is we human itself, actually, by standing in a row for collecting something or sharing some resources. For all those things, this queue will be used. But the main application, so where I'll be using this queue, will be taught in a concept called as BFS. Okay, this comes under the third unit. Your third unit will be the tree data structure. Okay, under this we have a concept called as BFS, breadth first search. Okay, under this we will be using this queue application. Fine. So you will see some more some more applications in a generalized way. The applications like a printer queue or a process scheduling. So we will see how this queue will be these applications. Fine. So for example, if there is a shared resource, okay, so the resource can, for example, consider there is a shared resource. Okay, so based upon some request, resources will be shared. Fine. So the resources can handle only one request at a time. Okay, so that particular point, what happens, I can queue up the request. Okay, so which request comes first, I'll be giving priority to that particular request. So this is what the major application of my queue. Okay, so we can, here I'm having an example like printer queue. A good example is your printer. Assume that I'm having a printer which is going to be shared in a network. Okay, so we have many machines connecting the printer. Okay, so any machines can give a request to a printer. Fine. So the printer can serve only one request at a time. It can't able to handle many requests. Okay, so the printer can handle only one request at a time. Okay, it's print only one document at a time. So if the request comes, if the printer can't say that I'm so busy, I can't do all those things. So what the printer will do, actually, it has a program which is going to manage the printer. There will be program. Okay, so the printer will be giving so puts the request in a queue. That program will be putting all the requests in a queue. Fine. So the printer keeps printing up the request from the front of the queue. The first which comes will be out. Okay, this is one of the applications where the queue will be used in our networking, printing, and all. Fine. And next one is called as the process scheduling. Is nothing but we can say the processor which is in our laptop or in our system. Okay, is going to share all the resources. Okay, so there will be a lot of program running. Okay, we can the processor will be queuing up all the programs which will be coming first, will be given the priority. Fine. So this process scheduling and all will be learning in your subject called as operating system. So this is a generalized way where this queue has been implemented, where this queue concept comes. Okay, but more technically speaking, we'll be using this queue. Okay, we'll be seeing the implementation in the tree data structure for a concept called as BFS later. Okay, for now, for like a stack, we won't be seeing any application in a queue. You won't be saying implementation of your application inside this queue. Fine. That's all. Do you have any doubts till now? If you have any doubts, you can just post your questions in the chat box so that I can move for the next one. If it is clear, you can just give me okay, ma'am, or yes, ma'am. If the queue concept is clear, you can just tell me. Yeah, I'm getting the call. Yeah, okay, fine. So we have a small a QA session. You can consider this QA session as a quick recap of what I thought. Okay, you can just make an recap. Fine, we'll have some questions under this. Take the first question.
Option A, ma'am.
Yeah,
A, B,
option
C,
A.
D.
Yeah. So the answer is going. You can, everyone can give me the answer in chat box also. Fine. Yeah, so the option is A. You know, in Q, what happens is, so in which order we are inserting, the same order, the value will be deleted. Okay, so the answer is going to be A, B, C, D. Fine. And the next one. Tarini, your answer is DCBA. No, it's not. Okay, because we are not having a stack here, we are having a queue here. Okay, if you're going to be stack, the answer is going to be DCBA. Fine. Yeah, in so what is the answer for this? The second one. Yeah, as I said, we'll be using this data structure in the concept called as breadth first search. Okay, it comes under a tree or a graph, something. Okay, so the answer is going to be Q. The answer is going to be. And one more thing I just forgot to say, under the Q we have some different types of Q. In stack we don't have any types, okay, but in queue we have some types of queue, like circular queue. Okay, we saw a normal queue. Now fine, we have a circular queue, a priority queue, and a DQ. Okay, DQ is also a type of it. Okay, so we have, these are the different types of queue. So we'll be learning all these types of queue in our later sessions. Fine. Yeah, it's just a very simple question, just to recap the concept, that's all. What is the answer? We can insert an element at the, I'm getting an answer like front, rear. No.
A, ma'am.
Yeah, it's A. Everyone, I think everyone got confused with the rear end and the front end. Okay, the answer is going to be A. Okay, so you can able to insert the element only at the rear end. Only at the rear end, and I can delete the element only at the front end. Since it looks like front, don't compare this front with insert. Okay, we'll be inserting only at the rear end and deleting only at the front end. Assume it's going to be a Q. Okay, here will be my rear end and here will be the front end. Okay, so here I'll be dequeuing it, here I'll be inserting it. Okay, so the answer is going to be my first one, A. So can you give me the second one answer? Yeah, I'm getting an answer from Shrutika. Yeah, good. So the answer is going to be all about the above. Okay, so these are the applications where we'll be using our Q data structure, like resource sharing and between the two processor, load balancing. So we have, for if we're going to be have a sharing concept, then we will be having a, obviously we'll be having a QDS inside that. Fine. So the answer is going to be all the above. Good try. Good. Okay. Assume I don't have any, for the first question, assume I don't have any array or linked list for implementing the stack. Okay, I need to implement my stack using my queue. And so, yeah, that is what the question. Yeah. So how many stacks are needed to implement a queue? 4 stack. I didn't get the answer. Huh? Yeah, I don't get the answer till now. I need to implement a queue, but I don't have any array or lists or something like that. I need to implement only using my stack. So how many stack is needed to implement a queue? Supriya, Sujita is one. The answer is going to be 2. Fine. So I need 2 stacks to implement my queue, because if it's going to take only 1 stack, what happens actually? There is only one opening it. Okay, we know we have a queue which has going to have two opening end. So I will take two stacks. So it's going to implement the queue. Fine. And answer for the last one, which of the following is not a type of queue? Yeah, super, super. No, someone give me answer C. C is not the answer. The answer will be the single coded queue. We have not done this. We have done an ordinary queue, which I taught you today, which is called as an ordinary queue, and we have a priority queue. We have a circular queue also. We don't have a queue called as a single-ended queue. See, since it's a queue, will be having two-ended, but we call this a single-ended, so this is going to be a wrong one. So that doesn't belong to the type called as queue. Fine. So next question. The small code actually. So tell me what will be returned. Yeah, I got an answer from the chat. What about others? Diti. Yeah, fine, super. The answer is going to be C. Okay, here I'm trying to return the front element. Okay, I'm having a function here. I'm using an is empty of and else part. I'm trying to enter. I'm going to return the front value. Okay, so in the return high, will be giving the value of the front. So it's going to be option C is going to be the correct answer. So these are the thing about the queue. So we on the day we have left something in postfix and the prefix and all. I'm just continuing that questions here also. So take the first one. Hope you are interested in answering the questions. Read the question very clearly. You can see I'm asking the top two elements of the stack after the first star is evaluated. Okay. Vishwant, the answer is A. Yeah. So I'm getting some. Vishwant has given me the answer C. Yeah? C is not the answer. Vishwant, any other answer? We have only one answer here. No, I'm getting a wrong answer. D. Okay. Supriya has given me the correct answer. The answer is going to be the first one. The first one is 6,1. Okay. So what you will do, it's going to be a expression evaluation. I'll be using a stack here. Okay. So since 8 is going to be an operand, I will just put this 8 inside. Okay. Then comes my 2 and then comes my 3. Fine. Then what you will do, you will just make now the operator comes. Fine. So it's going to be 2 exponent 3. The value will be 8. Again inside my stack I'll be having 8 and I'll be pushing the result inside the stack. It's going to be 8. Now the operator will be slash. Okay. So now what happens? 8/8. Okay. This gives me answer 1. So then the stack will be having 1 answer. Fine. Now I'll be having 2 and 3. I will just put inside the stack 2 and then 3 comes. Fine. Then I'm using a star operator. This is what my first star. Fine. So I'm performing the star here. So what happens? 3*2 gives me answer 6. So I'll be putting the value 1 and 6. Okay, so when I'm evaluating the star, so the top two elements will be the 6 and the next element will be the 1. So the answer is going to be the first one. Fine. So they're asking you the evaluation using stack. So don't do in a normal way. So use a stack for doing the evaluation. Okay, if it is an operator, put inside, for if it's an operand, put inside the stack. Operator, take the operand from the stack and calculate the result and again put the result inside the stack. That is what I did it based upon the pseudocode. Fine. So can you give me the answer for the second one? Next one. Yeah, I think Shrutika gave me the answer. So it's going to be the value called as any other answer, guys? It just tells you a small part of the implementation using array. So what will be the top value? If there is an element, my top will be get incremented, like from 0, 1, 2, 3 and all. But initially, what will be the top value when I'm going to use my stack in array? Only one answer. It's audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Fine. The answer is -1. Okay. So I have to initialize the top value as -1. Fine. So then when I'm just putting the value inside the stack, the top value will be changed from 0, 1, 2, and 3 and goes on. Fine. And it's very easier one. I'm just using a stack. Which of the following is the correct statement for stack? When I'm performing this, what happens? Either an overflow or an underflow or stack operation will be performed smoothly. What is happening? We have made a quick recap of stack also here today. Okay. I'm not getting the answer. You can take your time. Yeah, obviously an underflow occurs. Okay, I got the answer as underflow. So for example, I'm going to try to push the value inside the stack 1. Okay, value 1 will be pushed. I'm trying to pop it out, so I won't be having any value here. Then I'm trying to push 2 and 3. So 2 will be pushed and 3 will be there inside the stack. And I'm trying to make a pop off. So what happens now? 3 will be removed from the stack. Fine, at this particular point. Then again I'm trying to push the value 2. So again 2 has been pushed into this stack. Then I'm performing 2 pop operations. So and both the 2 will be removed from the stack. Now I'm trying to push the 4 and 4 will be inserted into the stack. Then I'm having pop off and pop off. Okay, in one pop operation this 4 will be removed from this stack. I'm having an empty stack now, but again I'm using a pop off. Okay, this gives me the error condition called as underflow. Underflow in the sense I don't have any element inside my stack, but I'm trying to remove the element from the stack. So this goes into this underflow condition. Okay, you know what is overflow also? We have so many elements. The array size has been reached actually, but you're trying to insert the element into the stack, then overflow occurs. Okay, good try, good. I think it's the last one. Which of the following operation takes a worst case linear time in the array implementation of stack? is empty. Pop, push. No, I have misunderstood. I think so. In stack or queue, whatever, all the operation will be having a same process. Okay, so the constant they'll be working in a constant time. So what happens? We have so it's going to be none. They won't get inside. So everybody will be having an order called as order of one as a complexity. Okay, I can't say push will be having a good complexity. Pop will be having the worst complexity. Nothing like that. Okay, so all the operations will be having the same complexity, will be the order of one. So we won't be having any worst case for any individual operations. So the answer is going to be none. Fine. Yeah, Suganya gave me the right answer. Lavanya, good. Last one. It's very simple. It tells you the stack meaning. That's all. Yeah. The answer is good. The answer is going to be third, the last one. So we'll be having a sequential entry that is one by one. Only I can add the values one above the above. Fine. So the answer is going to be the end session. Third D1 D part. Okay. Thank you, students. Thank you. So if you have any doubts in Q, you can just ask me now. If you don't have any doubt, you can just end the session.